Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock, and we are here tonight to honor the legacy of Joe Laurinaitis. But for many people, you guys know him as Road Warrior Animal of the Legion of Doom. Unfortunately, earlier today, Road Warrior Animal passed away at the age of 60 years old. It came to a big surprise for all of us. I think all of us were caught off guard by this news, because there was really no indication or no anything about him being sick or anything like that. It just, I guess you could say, it came abruptly. As it states as of right now, he passed away 10 days after his birthday, basically saying that he passed away due to natural causes. That was from his former manager and good friend Paul Ellering, who basically confirmed his death. Road Warrior Animal is survived by his wife Julie, his two children, his son James, and his daughter Jessica, and also another son from a previous marriage, Joseph. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family here tonight. When you talk about tag team wrestling, and you talk about the Legion of Doom, Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, they are so synonymous with professional wrestling, and the legacy that he left in professional wrestling is literally of the time of ages. It's the greatest of all time. Just alone, and this is just during the days. He started out in all Japan Pro Wrestling and was the NWA International Tag Team Champions with Hawk one time. The AWA World Tag Team Champions, as they were known as the Road Warriors. And I believe AWA was based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That was actually one of the main rivals of World Wrestling Federation from back in the day. Of course, NWA Georgia North National Tag Team Champions one time. Of course, they also, under the Jim Crockett, he was a 3-time tag team champion, one time a 6-man tag team champion, 2 times with Dusty Rhodes, and then of course one with Junichiro Tanru. Of course, Road Warrior Hawk was with them through those time, and then of course in the World Wrestling Federation, I think we can say it, 2-time World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, and then was a WWE Tag Team Champion with Heidenreich. I mean, you want to talk about one of the greatest tag teams in all of professional wrestling, and there's many you can debate. There's a lot that you can say. The Dudley Boys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian. But it wasn't until, but for all those great teams, you have the Demolitions, the Hart Foundation, and the LOD, the Legion of Doom was without a doubt what made tag team wrestling what it was back in the day. And, this was devastating news. It was heartbreaking news. I don't know how you guys found out about it. I found out via Facebook. And it wasn't a wrestling forum, no. It was my very own brother actually posted basically it was an article that was from Jim Ross, and he posted it on his, and that's how I found out about Road Warrior Animal passing away. He's a big wrestling fan, a big fan of that wrestling from the 1980s. This was my kind of wrestling. Late 80s, early 90s. This is close to home for me. This is close to home for Anthony. This is close to home for Michael Bullock. This is close to home for D.D. Woodson, because we grew up with the Legion of Doom. We grew up with the Road Warriors. This was one of the tag teams that we idolized back in the day. So for us, this hurts. We are devastated tonight with this news. So again, our thoughts and prayers are with the entire family. Anthony Florio, come on in, and why don't you give us a few words on what a great man he was. Road Warrior Animal, unfortunately passing away today at the age of 60 years old.
Yeah, I'll tell you, MF. I mean, this has been, we all know 2020 has been the hardest and most difficult year in history. And another big name in the world of professional wrestling passing away. It started with Howard Finkel, and then recently with Kamala, and now Road Warrior Animal. One half of, like you said, one of the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling, the Legion of Doom and the Road Warriors. And well, he and Hawk are going to be reunited, and they're gonna cause a whole lot of ruckus up there. You better believe it, just like they did here on Earth. But man, MF listed all the accomplishments, obviously all the titles that they won, and he and Hawk, I mean, they won so many World Tag Team Championships in so many promotions, and winning in All Japan, AWA, the Fighting World of Japan, NWA National Tag Team titles in Georgia, Championship Wrestling, iGeneration, Superstars of Wrestling, IPW Tag Team title holders, IWS. But and of course in WCW, with the 6-man titles, like MF said, and the Mid-Atlantic version of the NWA World Tag Team titles. They won the Iron Team tournament in 1989, which was the Starrcade Future Shock, one of the greatest Starrcade and WCW NWA pay-per-views in history. Boy, did I had a ball watching that. That was a fun ass show, let me tell you. Go out of your way to watch it on the network. It's incredible. Inducted into the NWA Hall of Fame in 2012. Also the NWA Legends Hall of Heroes in 2016. Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum in 2011. And of course, PWI 2005 Comeback of the Year. Feud of the Year with Hawk and the Superpowers against the Horsemen. All those fun-ass War Games matches they had. My gosh. PWA Tag Team of the Year, 83 to 85, and in 1988. He was number 64 of the 500 best singles wrestlers in the PWI years in 03. Him and Hawk came in as number 1 of the 100 best tag teams in the PWI years in 03. Inducted into the Quebec Wrestling Hall of Fame. Super World of Sports one-night tag team tournament. He and Hawk won that. Down in Mexico, Toriumon in Mexico, UWA World Tag Team titles with the Power Warrior. Tokyo Sports Best Foreigner Award. WWE, of course, winning the tag titles. with Hawk twice, and of course, one of those we'll never forget. One of my all-time favorites, SummerSlam '91, when he and Hawk beat the Nasty Boys in Madison Square Garden. One of the many highlights of one of the greatest SummerSlams of all time, and one of my all-time personal favorites, if not my all-time personal favorite, because that's a show whenever I go back and watch SummerSlams every year, like I just did recently, I always get sentimental when I get to 91, and that's one of the reasons why. There are others, but that's one of the reasons. And of course, 2011, he and Hawk and Ellering were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Wrestling Observer Newsletter Award, 1983, he and Hawk were the Rookie Team of the Year. They were the Tag Team of the Year in '84, Strongest Wrestler in '85 and '86, and then in '96, inducted into the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame. So many accomplishments, and I'll tell you what, I mean, I always loved his promos. I mean, they were so fiery, so intense. I mean, I always loved it. You know, he was damn near screaming at the top of his lungs. I freaking loved it. Loved that fire and intensity. It inspired me to have that same kind of fire and intensity nowadays in my everyday life. And I give all the credit to him for that. So many others. But, you know, he and Hawk, you know, LOD, Road Warriors, so much history they made, all those tag team championships. And you can only imagine what it's going to be like once he and Hawk are going to be reunited. First thing Hawk's going to say is, "It's about damn time, brother. I missed you." And number one. And number two, you know Hawk's going to be letting out a big old, "Oh, what a rush." That's all there is to say on that. So, give them hell up there, guys. That's all I can say on that. LOD, they're going to be raising a lot of hell up there. You know, you better believe it, just like they did here. So, but you know, we send our thoughts and our prayers and our condolences to his family, and we can't forget he was also the brother of John Laurinaitis. Let's not forget that John Laurinaitis' brother as well. I mean, we certainly lift him up as well, and the entire family, including his and of course, yep, his other brother, of course, John Laurinaitis. We all know that, and Marcus Laurinaitis, former wrestler, many known as one half of the tag team, the Wrecking Crew, and what really warmed me is that LOD in 2001 became born again Christians. I can't tell you how much that made me feel amazing. And Laurinaitis' son, James Laurinaitis, of course, great football player out of Ohio State, a Bronco Nagurski Award winner, drafted by the Rams, and then retired in 2015. And then he left the Rams and went to the Saints after the 2015 season. And yep, 2 children, son James, obviously, daughter Jessica, and he also has a son Joseph from a previous marriage, like I've said, and he was a youth football coach as well. So all around wonderful man. You're absolutely right. And Dark Side of the Ring, they did a Last Ride of the Road Warriors episode. Definitely one you got to check out. So on behalf of all of us here at the Wrestling Forum, thoughts, prayers, condolences, not just to his family, but also to his friends, and also to those who were blessed enough to work with him. And a lot of tributes on the shows tonight, not just on NXT, but also in AEW as well. So, and as I always like to say before I close, to Road Warrior Animal, thank you for the memories, thank you for the inspiration, and thank you for Road Warrior Animal. Rest in peace, good sir. You will be missed. Michael Bullock, come on in. Road Warrior Animal. It's about to be reunited up there with Hawk.
Yeah, I actually found out about it when I was at work this morning when a coworker of mine told me about the passing of Road Warrior Animal, and I was literally surprised. I mean, I didn't hear of any health problems that that he had, and yeah, I mean, I watched that Dark Side of the Ring when looking back at the good times and the bad times of the Road Warriors. I mean, he looked fine. I mean, but I love how he went into detail of everything that went on in his career and obviously the problems that his partner Hawk went through. But to me, and you said it too, Florio. To me, the Road Warriors, uh, the Legion of Doom, they arrived in WWE when they had that moment when they won the tag team championships from the Nasty Boys at SummerSlam 1991. That was their coming out party, and yeah, I mean he had one heck of a career, and yeah, now he's going to be reunited with his fellow partner Hawk up in heaven, and I can only imagine what those are going to be like. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. You guys said pretty much said it all. So definitely thoughts, prayers, and condolences to the entire Laurinaitis family. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's move on to AEW Dynamite.
And with that said, we will indeed move on to AEW Dynamite, and we will do this as best we can, like we have always done it, and to honor the legacy and to basically give you guys the best possible wrestling that we can give each and every time out, and we're gonna do it right here, right now. So, with that said, here we go. AEW Dynamite. We started it off tonight. Um, well, after a elongated, so we started off with a tag team match, as it was Miro and Kip Sabian, of course, with super bad Penelope Ford. They went up against Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. When it was all said and done, winners of the bout in 11 minutes and 8 seconds was Kip Sabian and Miro. All right, I'm gonna say it. Not bad, pretty good match. I'll give this a solid 3 stars. Miro looked good in his first match in AEW. He looked like the strong powerhouse that he has always been, especially um as Rusev of WWE. I think they did pretty well. I think they did an all right, and I think it was sizable. So yeah, I think they did a really good job, and there was really nothing more to add. So I'm gonna give this a solid 3. Anthony, it's yours.
Solid 3 stars. This was a fun opener, though messy. While it didn't show much more than everyone knows about Miro in the ring, the best man shined thanks to his aggression and ferocity. His energy made up for some rough moments, and he landed some memorable slams that lit up the crowd. Janela and Kiss continue to shine as a tag team. The surprising pair have found their chemistry. It would be great to see them eventually rise up the ranks, but the tag team division is so damn loaded. Let's not kid ourselves. Top heavy. They should be beating Miro and Sabian on a normal day, but it was the best man's debut. It still remains to be seen how far Miro can climb in AEW. Right now, he is working with Sabian, who has rarely gone beyond the mid card of the brand, but the best man has already seemingly elevated his tag team partner. So that's all there is to say on that. So solid 3 stars. I 100% agree with MF. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 3 stars as well. I mean, obviously, there was no way they were gonna have Miro lose in his debut in AEW. So yeah, I thought him and Chip Sabian looked like a pretty good pairing, but I still come impressed with Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss here. So I really hope somewhere down the line they do get a shot at the tag team titles. So I mean, that's how good they are. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I'm just gonna give it to you, Fletch.
All right, and then the next
Oh,
match
three
of.
stars for me. Uh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Now you can move on.
All right, no problem. Fair enough. Fair enough. I was gonna say the next match of the night we had was Adam Hangman Page versus Evil Uno of the Dark Order. It was the Hangman winning the match in 10 minutes and 46 seconds. Anthony Florio.
2.5 stars for me. Page is one of the best in the business, but the pacing of this contest was far too slow until the closing stretch. Uno only got going after the commercial break, making the early portion of the contest feel unnecessary. The surrounding events were more interesting than the match itself. Uno intentionally told the Dark Order to leave him alone, playing on his own issues recently with Mr. Brody Lee. Omega continues to improve on commentary, but the real focus was his continued taunting of Page. The Young Bucks have also found a new attitude as heels. Matt sold the way the Young Bucks have evolved since Hangman cost them a tag team title opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when the Elite try to get revenge on Page down the road. But 2.5 stars, that's the best I can give this. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give it 2.5 stars. I mean, it was fine for what it was. I mean, it was a good match, definitely, but I mean, there's really nothing more to add to it. So Florio basically touched on it. So I'm just going to give it to you, Fletch.
2.5 stars, solid match. I wish it could have been a little more better, but it was all right for what it was worth. And yeah, I really got nothing more to add. So the next match was Mr. Brody Lee versus Orange Cassidy for the TNT title. Winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 45 seconds, and still the TNT champion, Mr. Brody Lee, the Exalted One, wins the match. Michael Bullock, it is all yours, my friend.
I'll give it about maybe 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. I mean, there were times, as far as I'm concerned, I did watch because I was going back and forth tonight between that and, of course, the Celtics and the Heat. So you're gonna have to bear with me on it. I mean, the times I saw with this match, I mean, it was a little slow. I mean, and as Mr. Brody Lee really dominated him, but it did pick up as Orange Cassidy really bounced back. But keeping the title on Mr. Brody Lee was the right move as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So Fletch, I mean, I guess what we could say is who's going to be next in line, or should I say, the next victim of Mr. Brody Lee?
It looks like it could be Cody because he came back and boy did he come back with guns blazing. New look, new attitude, and he went right after Mr. Brody Lee. So there's no doubt in my mind it could be Cody going after Brody Lee again to try to get his TNT title back. So I think that's going to be very interesting to watch. As far as the match goes, yeah, I'll give it about 2.5 to 3. It was a solid match, but the outcome was never in doubt. I don't think none of us thought that Brody Lee had that there was any danger whatsoever. Even though Orange Cassidy has been really good and has really shined in the last few months in AEW, especially with his rivalry with Chris Jericho, there's really nothing more to add here. So, Anthony, it is all yours, my friend.
I think you guys underscored this bout a little bit. To me, I got to say this was about 3.25 to 3.5 stars. I mean, Orange Cassidy has been consistently excellent as a competitor since AEW has begun to take him seriously. He sold Brody Lee's ferocity and found the perfect moments to rile up the crowd with a comeback. The main thing holding this contest back was the frequent interference from the Dark Order. It got to be too much. The right man won. Lee has been building momentum as champion with every appearance. He comes off as utterly dominant. It is a shame that the American Nightmare is already back, as Cody could quickly and decisively take the spotlight away from Lee. I think he could have sold his devastating injuries for at least another month. But but hey, at least he's back, and that'll definitely help things. And he looks like the Cody that we first saw when he first debuted in WWE in 07. So kind of reminded me of that. But I can't wait to see this new look. I can't wait to see what this new Cody does. So a rematch will definitely take place at the earliest possible date. We just don't know when that is. I mean, Full Gear is far off. It was a little too far off. So maybe on a future Dynamite. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe one of these special themed Dynamite shows. Maybe I'm not sure about next week, but maybe the anniversary show. I mean, if you want to put that anniversary show over as a big deal on the 14th, I think that might be a good way to do it. Or maybe that Jericho 30th anniversary show on the 7th. I don't know. I think it's going to be a future Dynamite because I really don't see them holding this thing until Full Gear. I really don't, because that's still a little ways away. So we'll see. But it's going to happen. One of my fights of the night, 3.25, 3.5 stars. Great matchup here. So let's move on.
All right, guys. And then with that said, we do indeed move right along on this show tonight. And next up, we had was this was they had a promo segment, and then after that, we had a women's tag team match. The NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa and the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida, and they went up against Diamante and Ivelisse. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 7 minutes and 35 seconds, Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. This was a solid match. I got to give this at least a solid 2.5 to 2.75 of a star. It was a little shorter than any of the other matches for the night. It could have been a little more better, but I do like Thunder Rosa, but it looks like there was a little bit of a rivalry between Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse, and actually, rumors are swirling that Ivelisse and Thunder Rosa might have actually done a shoot fight when they fought for the NWA Women's title. It looked like the kicks that they were giving to each other were real. They were not fake. That they were actually more aggressive than anything. And if you notice, Ivelisse actually didn't sell any of Thunder Rosa's offense. So I mean, who knows what that was all about? But at the end of the day, I thought this was an okay match. So nothing more to add. Anthony Florio, I give it to you.
2.5 stars here. While the physicality in this match made it stand out, I think this contest deserved more time. The storytelling was far too condensed, and much of the contest happened during picture-in-picture. Continually, AEW has undersold the women's division. Shida and Rosa continue to develop chemistry that should not be ignored. A rematch between the two women has to be inevitable. It would be a great opportunity to highlight the top talent in the women's division once again. So 2.5 stars. I mean, that's really all there is to say on that. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts? Bullock, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah. 2.5 stars. I do agree. I mean, this match definitely could have been could have gone a little longer, but I really enjoyed the match and the amount of time it did get. I mean, there's really nothing more to add, so let's just move on, Fletch.
Main event of the show for the AEW World Title. It was Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. Jon Moxley wins the match in 11 minutes and 17 seconds. Anthony, Jon Moxley is still the AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Indeed he is, deservedly so. And there's nothing left for me to say except this, to me, was the fight of the night. I got to give this 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. I mean, wow. As expected, Moxley and Kingston had fun beating each other up. This could have been better with more time to build, but the two men did not lose focus throughout. It was physical, leaving Moxley with the scars of battle. Kingston has quickly established himself in AEW. It is remarkable to think he was only recently signed. He fits right in and has helped elevate the Lucha Bros to a level closer to their talent. Moxley is still in need of a true clear challenger. Hopefully, Lance Archer can be that man when he returns to action. It is fun watching the AEW World Champion fight hard, but he needs those that can push him to the limit. And Eddie Kingston, he kind of did that tonight. He certainly did that here this evening. Now, what was supposed to happen here was we were supposed to have a six-man tag team matchup with Lance Archer and I believe it was supposed to be Lance Archer, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks going up against Jon Moxley, Will Hobbs, and Darby Allin in a six-man tag. But unfortunately, those plans got scrapped because Lance Archer came down with COVID-19. He tested positive for COVID, and as a result, he's going to be out for a couple weeks. But he's saying that he should be ready to go for that anniversary show on October 14th, where he is scheduled to challenge Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And this came out late this afternoon, about 3 or 4 hours before the show, and it's a shame that this happened, but we wish Lance Archer the best and quick and speedy recovery, immediate healing. That's all we can pray for. But it is what it is. That's just, I don't know what else there is to say here, but credit to AEW and Tony Khan for improvising on the fly and coming up with a great alternative. I mean, they obviously didn't want to be guilty of false advertising, and no better way to make up for it, to make it up to us, than to give us one hell of a World Heavyweight Championship match. And damn it to hell, it delivered. It delivered and then some. This was a Goodell MF Michael Fletcher special right here this evening, let me tell you. Because this was a be a man fight. This was a hoss fight. And, this was smash mouth. This was physical. And this was an MF style match. This was not a Flair Steamboat 5-star technical masterclass. Oh no. This was a fight. And that's all there is to say on that. That was not a wrestling match. That was a fight. And that's all there is to say on that. So to me, I got to say by a smidge, this was the fight of the night. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. And that's all there is to say on that. And Michael Bullock, we talked earlier, and I'll say it again. We have to give kudos to Tony Khan and AEW management for really putting their heads together and making it up to us. And all I can say is they handled a very difficult. I think they need to be commended for the way they handled what undoubtedly is what was a very difficult situation.
Yeah, you definitely got to commend Tony Khan for thinking on the fly and trying to come up with something after Lance Archer tested positive for COVID, and we definitely wish him the best. And yeah, to come up with this Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Title against Eddie Kingston, and yeah, it definitely delivered. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was definitely the fight of the night here. I mean, they really delivered, and then you had all sorts of chaos with the Lucha Bros coming out. Then you had Will Hobbs and Darby Allin, and unfortunately, Ricky Starks came out and basically took out Darby Allin. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say on it. So Fletch, it is yours.
I mean, this was a solid show. This was well done. I think everybody can agree with that. And there's really nothing more for us to add. So we're just going to drive right on along and it's time for um, it's time. Should we do overall reviews or go right into NXT? I guess. Well,
I can
It's up to you.
I can give a quick overall thought if you want.
that's fine.
Yeah, I'll be quick too.
Um,
All right,
yeah,
go ahead,
for
Florio.
when it comes to me, I gotta say for AEW it was a 7.5, 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it started rough, and but at the end of the day, I mean, it got going and the show got back on track with that women's tag and the main event match where Eddie did more than just beat the holy hell out of Moxley, and that's really all I can say on that. So yeah, some good action here. Both title matches delivered. Miro looked great in his debut, and the only real disappointment was that women's match. I mean, that had potential to be something really good, but unfortunately, AEW did not give them a chance. They didn't give them the time they should have had and deserved. But they treated it like WWE used to do with the whole Home Diva fights back in the day. So, and that's a damn shame because all four of those women can work. Let me tell you, major disservice. But other than that, solid show. So 7.5 if I was giving it a rating. So Bullock, a quick thought.
Yeah, I would have given it 7.5 as well. I mean, I thought it was a good show. I mean, yeah, the women's tag, I mean, was a little disappointing, but yeah, I mean, both championship matches definitely delivered. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, I don't know if you want to give a quick thought. If not, we're just going to go right into NXT.
7.5 is my official rating for the show as well. I totally agree with everything you guys said, so let's go right into it. NXT, we started it off with the Battle Royale to determine the number one contender for the women's title. And the winner of the Battle Royale was Candice LeRae at 15 minutes and 29 seconds. This was a pretty good battle royale. There was a lot of good storylines in the matchup, but as far as the winner goes, I think it was never in doubt. So, Candice LeRae will get a shot at Io Shirai sometime down the line, and that will be, it will be a match for the NXT Women's Title. I don't think there's really nothing more to add here, Anthony. So we're just gonna say it. Winner of the bout, it's Candice LeRae. She's gonna get a shot at the NXT Women's Title sometime down the line.
Do you have your rating?
I could give this about 3.5 stars.
That's definitely where I was leaning towards. And by the way, MF, it's not sometime down the road. It's going to be a takeover on October 4th.
There you go.
So, and that was the theme when it comes to our two big main events this evening. And 3 to 3.5, I agree with MF's rating here. The first half of this match was all about making Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley look good. They each scored a number of eliminations as the announcers put them over as the heavy favorites. Unfortunately, this battle royal suffered from the same problem many of these matches have. There were too many people in the ring at the beginning, so nobody was able to do anything cool until they cleared out at least half of the competitors. What really shined here was the attention to detail. A lot of different feuds, both past and present, were addressed as different combinations of wrestlers fought each other throughout the match. The second half was much better and allowed several superstars to have their time in the spotlight, including your girl, MF, Casey Canton-Zero. I mean, basically channeling her inner Kofi Kingston, a la some of the things he had done in past Royal Rumble matches. With those.
Not only that, but she was also channeling John Morrison. She was channeling Kofi. I mean, there was, yeah. She saved her. She saved her pretty little hiney, at least 2 or 3 times in that match.
And even got a little assist from her tag team partner, Kaden Carter,
Yeah,
as well.
from her
And,
bestie. Her
yeah.
bestie saved her once.
Yeah, and I know I'm deep down. I mean, you were rooting for that young lady. I know how much you love Casey Canton-Zero, not just for her beauty, but also because of her American Ninja Warrior, what she did on that show. And I know that's how you fell in love with her, and I don't blame you. I mean, she is a cutie patootie, let me tell you. But But anywho, yeah, her man Ricochet, I'm sure he was smiling. He was grinning like the Cheshire Cat, saying, "Well done, my
Actually,
girl."
from what I heard, they broke up.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you behind the scenes.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll tell
yeah,
you
we'll have
behind
to
the
look.
scenes. I'll
Yeah,
tell you behind the scenes.
we'll definitely have to look into that behind the
Yeah.
scenes. No doubt about that. But that's news to me if that's true. But anyways, yeah, she looked great, and Gonzalez and Ripley, like I said, I think there's a be a woman Haas fight between those two on the horizon, no doubt about that. And Candice LeRae, she gets the chance at Io Shirai now, and what else is there to say? I mean, they battled once before, but only this time we got the roles reversed. We got Io Shirai as the babyface and Candice LeRae as the heel. You remember it was about a year or two ago when Io Shirai turned heel on Candice LeRae after Io Shirai lost to Shayna Baszler inside a steel cage match. So there's some unfinished business between the Poison Pixie and the Genius of the Sky. But all I know is I got a good feeling about this match. I think it's going to deliver at Takeover, no doubt about it. So we'll give our opinion on that in a couple weeks. But for right now, 3 to 3.5 stars, fantastic match. What else is there to say? So Michael Bullock, Candice LeRae wins, but I got to tell you guys one other thing, and that is I kind of thought Shotzi Blackheart was going to win, especially after that most impressive of outing she had a week ago.
Yeah, I kind of thought so too, but there was a little part of me that was thinking that Candice LeRae was going to win, and so the outcome never really surprised me. So yeah, 3 to 3.5, I do agree. I mean, this was a good match here. Certainly a good way to kick off NXT. Yeah, so a lot of history with these two. I mean, Io Shirai was the one who turned heel on Candice LeRae, but now the roles are reversed with Io Shirai as the babyface and Candice LeRae as the heel, and there's a lot of unfinished business. And guys, Candice LeRae hasn't forgotten what Io Shirai did to her. So for Candice LeRae, it's unfinished business, but this time she's got a different attitude, and one that I'm sure that Io Shirai doesn't want to deal with. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's move on.
Next match of the night, Tommaso Ciampa going one-on-one with Jake Atlas. Tommaso Ciampa wins the match in 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
2.5 to 3 stars, short but entertaining match, fun little sprint, as we always say. Atlas looked really good against one of the best NXT has to offer, and if management decided to make this a long-term feud, they would likely produce better matches with each future encounter. Ciampa is such a great heel. He knows how to play a badass who is more than willing to take a few shortcuts to get a victory. When he gets back into the title picture, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. There's no question about it. I mean, MF, this is your guy. This is your boy. The Sicilian psychopath. And let me tell you, he had a decent run as a babyface. I'll give him that. But at the same time, he's just so damn better as a heel. That's all I can say on that. So, really all I can say on this. So, a 2.5 to 3 stars, even though it was a very short match, but it was a fun little sprint. That's all I can say on that. So, nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, you got a blue chipper in Jake Atlas, let me tell you. But Tommaso Ciampa, just too big, too strong, too much, and he's just so damn better as a heel, no doubt.
Yeah, Jake Atlas. He looks impressive. Yeah, the match was short, but in the amount of time it got, it was a nice, fun little sprint. I'll give it 2.5 to 3 stars. But I got a feeling, guys, that this feud between these two is far from over. I think we're going to see them go at it again, and I would not be surprised if this takes place at the next takeover. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Sure, nothing more to say. This was a 2.5 to 3 fun little sprint, like we always would say. And yeah, there's really Nothing more to add. I guess I could bring in some breaking news here on from the NBA home front. Michael Bullock, cover your ears, but the Miami Heat has knocked off the Boston Celtics 112 to 109. That gives the Heat a 3 games to 1 lead in the Eastern Conference Final. One more win, and the Heat will make a return appearance to the NBA Finals, as they're playing right now in the bubble in Orlando, Florida. And for all you NHL fans out there, earlier tonight the Tampa Bay Lightning knocked off the Dallas Stars 5-2, taking a 2 games to 1 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final. That game will be Friday night as well. So Friday night, Game 5 for the Eastern Conference Final. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final on Friday night. That will be in Edmonton on NBC. So that's it for all the sports. Back to wrestling. Next up we had was a tag team match, as it was Roderick Strong and Danny Burch versus Fabian Eichner and Raul Mendoza. And when it was all said and done, it was Roderick Strong and Danny Burch winning the match in 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it about maybe 2.25 for the effort here. I mean, a pretty interesting tag team match. With the different teams. Yeah. So I really don't know what to make of this. Fletch, maybe you could shed some light on what we saw here.
I think this was just two teams that just got thrown together, and this was just try to this was one of those spitball type ideas, and it worked. I liked it. I wish they would do more matches like this. Unpredictability. On top of that, you got 4 good wrestlers in the ring: Raul Mendoza, Fabian Eichner, Danny Burch, and Roderick Strong. How is that not gonna go wrong? This was a good, solid, quick little sprint. Another 3-star fight. Anthony Florio, is yours.
From what I heard, this was the brainchild of Fandango. I mean, he put together these strange bedfellow teams, and whoever won, those two teams would go at it in some sort of contender match to determine Breezango's next challengers for the NXT Tag Team Championship. So we could be looking at Lorcan and Birch going up against the Undisputed Era down the line. But solid 3-star match. I 100% agree. I mean, when you think about the fact that neither one of these teams has never worked together as partners before, this was even better than expected. All 4 of these superstars have their specialties, and each one was on full display. The exchanges between Fabian Eichner and Danny Burch were especially entertaining. Roderick Strong and Danny Burch had some solid chemistry, but when the match was over, Roddy refused to shake his partner's hand. So that's all there is to say on that. So solid 3 stars, no doubt about it. So let's move on to Michael Bullock.
I actually already talked about it.
Bullock already led off.
Okay. Bullock led off. So it goes back to me. All right, guys. So with that said, let's move right on along. Next up we had was, oh boy, Austin Theory versus Damian Priest, non-title match. And it was Damian Priest winning the match. However, I don't got a time. I don't know why. ProWrestling.net slept behind the wheel on this one. But I'm going to say it. Good match. And I'm actually going to give a lot of credit to Austin Theory. I thought he looked really good. Yes, it was in a losing effort, but there's so much potential with Austin Theory. I like what they're going. I like the direction they're going. I like what he's got. I think they did a pretty good job with this match. I got really nothing more to add here. Anthony Florio, I'm going to give this a solid 2.5 to 3 stars, even though I have no idea what the time of the fall was.
11 minutes, 6 seconds.
Oh, wait a minute. That ain't no 2.5. That's 3.5. That I'm giving it that rating.
Much
Now
better.
you can take it.
And we thank our friends at 411mania.com for staying awake and keeping an eye on the ball here.
Uh-huh.
So there you go. 3 to 3.5. I agree with the rating. These are two men who combine agility and power in ways most superstars aren't capable. So this was a fun match from the moment it began. Austin Theory looked good, but this match was all about making Damian Priest look strong ahead of his North American Championship match with Johnny Gargano at TakeOver on October 4th. If that was the goal, WWE accomplished its mission. The young superstar provided a good challenge for the North American champion. He hit a lot of big moves and came close to winning a few times. This is a combo we need to see more of in the future because they work together well. So I'm actually going to bump it up to 3.25 to 3.5 stars. I think that's the better rating. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, Austin Theory looked good in defeat, but tonight it was all about making Damian Priest look really good because Damian Priest is in for the challenge of his life because he's got to defend that North American Championship against Johnny Takeover. Good luck, Damian Priest. Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, 3.5. I gotta agree with you guys. I mean, Austin Theory, like you said, he looks really good. In this, I mean, he gave Damian Priest a run for his money, but this was all, like you said, about making Damian Priest look really strong because, like you said, he's in for the fight of his life at Takeover when he defends that North American Championship against Johnny Takeover. Yeah, good luck to you, Damian Priest. I got a feeling, guys, that he's going to go into this match as the underdog because we all know what Johnny Gargano can do at Takeover. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, no, this is going to be dangerous. There's really no doubt about it. All right. Unfortunately, we do got one fight that we're going to have to throw away, guys. It was Ridge Holland versus Antonio De Luna, and it was Ridge Holland winning the match in 90 seconds. We're not talking about it. We're leaving that one alone. It was a good little domination squash fight for Ridge Holland. He looked good. That this is one of those rare times where the squash actually worked. A guy actually looked really good, dominating performance. That's how a squash fight is supposed to look, and they absolutely did it perfectly. Gauntlet Eliminator match for the number one contendership for the NXT title, and the man that will get to fight Finn Balor for that title at NXT TakeOver. We started it off with Bronson Reed versus Kushida. Bronson Reed won the match. He got to advance. Then, next up we had was Kyle O'Reilly versus Bronson Reed. Kyle O'Reilly advances. After that, it was Kyle O'Reilly versus Timothy Thatcher. Kyle O'Reilly advances. Then we came to the final battle, which was Kyle O'Reilly versus Cameron Grimes, winner of the bout, in a total time of 27 minutes, 48 seconds, and the number one contender for the NXT title is Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era. He wins it all. Anthony Florio. Oh man. O'Reilly versus Balor.
And I don't need you to break out the 96-97 JR knowledge on this because I know you know all about Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, Team Red Dragon and the whole 9 yards. Was he ever
He was a
champion?
former ROH World Heavyweight Champion.
I had a feeling he was.
He was, yes.
And yeah, I'm sure you're gonna break out the 96-97 JR knowledge on that. And
yeah.
I would certainly be delighted if you did that because I know you know how much I love it when you do that. But,
I will. Don't worry. You'll get it.
Yes, sir. What else is there to say except this was the fight of the night? 4.5 to 4.75 of a star. I mean, this match was great from start to finish. All 5 men had several standout moments, but Kyle O'Reilly shined brighter than everyone else in the ring. His technical prowess is second to none. For a guy who has mostly been known for his tag team matches in NXT, this was potentially a star-making performance. It was a shame that Kushida had to be eliminated so early, but somebody always has to be the first one to go out in matches like this, and he drew the short straw this time. Seeing O'Reilly and Balor is going to be incredible if he performs the way he did in this bout. We could have a potential 5-star on our hands. You don't know. But Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor, TakeOver October 4 for the NXT title. Let's go. That's all I can say on that. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be insane. So 4.5 to 4 3/4 of a star. I can't give it the 5 because there were some, distraction moments, and, especially the Velveteen Dream. I mean, he ended up screwing over Kushida, which I didn't like, but, it is what it is. But other than that, though, my only nitpick was there were a couple of distraction moments which kind of took it away from me a little bit. If not for that, then I could easily give this 5. But I can only give this 4.5 to 4 3/4. But damn it to hell, out of all the matches that we saw combined on both shows, this was far and away the best. So that's all I can say on this. So Michael Bullock just missed the 5. It just missed the 5, but man alive, 4.5 to 4 3/4. And how about this? Kyle O'Reilly gets the first shot at Finn Balor for the NXT title. Wow.
Boy, good for him. Good for him. I mean, he's going to get the opportunity of a lifetime to get a shot at the NXT championship. Yeah, I'll give it about 4.5 to 4 3/4. I do agree. I mean, yeah, there were some things that really did rub me the wrong way, especially that, Velveteen Dream screwing Kushida. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, guys, but the Velveteen Dream's really getting on my nerve now. I mean, some of the things he does is rubbing me the wrong way, especially this, and he's caused some major problems in the back. I mean, we've heard of that before, so yeah, so that really took a little bit away from it. So yeah, Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah, I mean, he's got the opportunity of a lifetime. Will he cash in that takeover? We'll have to wait and find out. Fletch, it's yours.
This is without a doubt one of the most highly anticipated title matches ever. And it's gonna be without a doubt. You want to talk about a dream fight? Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. And these two men, their legacies are mirror image. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly have both wrestled in Japan for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Finn Balor is a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Kyle O'Reilly, with Bobby Fish, is an IWGP Junior Tag Team Heavyweight Champion. So they were Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions on 2 occasions. Kyle O'Reilly alone has been a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Champion. And yes, Anthony, he was a 3-time Tag Team Champion as Red Dragon. But yes, he was the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. He won the title 1 time in his career. And as a matter of fact, he actually, let me see, list of champions. I want to do this really quick so I can get this correct. Let's see, where are you? Title history. Kyle O'Reilly won the title. He actually upended Adam Cole. He beat Adam Cole at the final battle, at a final battle in the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City in a no DQ fight. and he won the title on December 2nd, 2016. That was the only time in his career that Kyle O'Reilly became the champion of the world. And as a matter of fact, he actually defended he actually defended the Ring of Honor world title at Wrestle Kingdom 11 in Japan at the Tokyo Dome on January 4. It was a return fight with Adam Cole, and Adam Cole regained the title that night. So for Kyle O'Reilly, this is a historic moment for him. And for Finn Balor, what a matchup this is going to be. I don't ever remember if Kyle O'Reilly or Balor has fought each other in one-on-one matches. I'm trying to check right now. So before I get into it and see if they did, let's go into overall reviews. This was a great match. This was fight of the night. 4.5 stars. I'll give you that, guys. I believe Michael Bullock, you lead off. So give me your final thoughts. I'm gonna try to see if O'Reilly and Finn Balor has fought each other in the past. So you go ahead, you lead off, and let me try to get this quick. All right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good show here. The only downside was that that Ridge Holland squash that we had. But other than that, some of the other matches were good to really great. I could give this maybe 7.5 to 8 out of 10, and I'm going to say by the slimmest of margins, NXT wins for the week here. So Fletch, it is yours.
Unfortunately, I don't see any previous videos or anything in the past about a Balor versus O'Reilly. So this possibly could be a first-time matchup. I don't see anything from the independent circuit. I know they definitely did not fight in WWE or NXT that I know of. So this actually might be a first time matchup. Oh, yeah, it looks like a first time matchup. So, my goodness, what a show, what an event. And yeah, I gotta think that NXT beats AEW because NXT only had really one bad match. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
100% agree, MF. This was an 8 out of 10. You're absolutely right. I really enjoyed this show. Sure, the matches in the middle weren't great, but they worked well. Ciampa Atlas did what it had to. The tag match was interesting. The Holland squash worked for the most part. But what really did it was those two big contender matches. The women's battle royal was entertaining, and that main event absolutely delivered. Nothing, with the exception of the Holland squash, nothing was bad on this show. And even with this takeover seeming rushed, they set up Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor and Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae too, which is wonderful. So, yeah, that main event was amazing. The women's battle royal, those were the two huge matches on this night. They bookended it perfectly. They started the show with one. They ended the show with the other. And I think they booked it perfectly. So that's all I can say on that because nothing was going to follow that incredible eliminator. So well done, Mr. Regal. You did it again. So solid 8 out of 10. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this one. NXT wins the night by a slim margin, even though AEW was just as good. But what did it tonight was that main event. That's what put NXT over the top. So nothing more to say. MF, let's put the bow on this and set up. We got a lot of future content coming up, and boy, howdy, I can't wait to do it.
First off, we're going to start tomorrow night with another edition of College Football Thursday. And yes, it's a full docket, guys. 17 games. It initially was 18. However, one game got pulled off the card. Notre Dame will not play this weekend. They were supposed to go up against Wake Forest. 7 Notre Dame players has tested positive for COVID-19. The games have been pushed off until December. 17 matches, including the debut of SEC football. We're back. So we got all of them. We got to cover that. Friday night, we got SmackDown Live recap. We also got the preview of I believe, a Clash of Champions. So we got that. Then on Saturday is NFL Saturday. And then Sunday night, a recap of the Clash of Champions. Monday, we got Ridiculously Raw. So yeah, we're going to be busy for the next 5 nights. So I hope you guys get ready. It's going to be pretty wild. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, Anthony Floyo. As always, thank you guys out there for being the best fans in the world. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. So long for now, and we will see you very soon. Good night.